running backs and running back rooms that can be impacted by this year's NFL draft class. Tyler Algier was a 5th-round draft pick from this last NFL draft class. He finished the year setting the Falcons' rookie rushing record. Across the Falcons' last 4 games of the season, he averaged 107.75 rushing yards and 0.5 rushing touchdowns. But will he start the season as the team's RB1? Tony Pollard is coming off of a season where he had career highs in rushing yards with over 1,000, receiving yards with 371, and total touchdowns with 12. This was with Zeke on the roster, still being top 10 in carries with 231. With Zeke out, do they replace Zeke? There is a mixture of reports on Javonte Williams' recovery from that knee injury. Samaje Perine was brought in by Denver, who last year in 3 games filling in for Joe Mixon had a game of 3 receiving touchdowns, a game of a rushing touchdown, and a game of 106 rushing yards. If Javonte Williams is not looking great, though, for this coming season, are they comfortable rolling out with Samaje Perine in a workhorse role? Travis Etienne had a top 10 season in rushing yards, yards per reception, and yards per touch. Solid 5.1 yards per carry. He had 35 catches as well. But Doug Peterson in March was quoted saying that they should add another running back, that 2, 3, 4 guys rotating in might be something they do. So does Jacksonville add somebody that complements Travis Etienne? Austin Eckler has been granted permission to go seek a trade partner. He has accounted for 38 of 97 total rushing and receiving touchdowns the last 2 seasons. So what does LA do if they move on from Eckler? Cam Akers averaged 76.25 rushing yards from weeks 11 through 18 and scored 6 total touchdowns during that span. The Rams went from winning the Super Bowl, though, to being 5-12. So how do they reshape their team this coming season? Philadelphia added Rashad Penny, who in his last 7 full games playing majority of the snaps has averaged 129.86 rushing yards and 1.14 touchdowns. I don't even need to speak, though, on the injury history with Penny. Philly does still have Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott, who had impacts in the NFL playoffs. Lots of Bijan talk, though. Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson are both back in Miami, but Miami had the 7th least rushing yards per game in 2022, despite being 6th in total yards and 11th in points per game scored. Kenneth Walker had a monster of a rookie season. He accounted for 65.3% of the team's running back opportunities. Can they add a pass catcher, though, to this system? Should Tennessee move on from Derrick Henry, what do they do? Because he has averaged over 21 carries per game the last 3 seasons straight. Rachaad White and Leonard Fournette combined for 1,149 rushing yards and 123 receptions this past season. So is it Rachaad White workhorse season, or do they replace Leonard Fournette? Washington does have Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, but both were very poor in a lot of rushing efficiency metrics this last season.